What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for watching and supporting. We've got a great video for you guys today. We're going to be talking about how to double your tips as a rideshare driver. Before we jump into this video, we just wanted to give a quick shout out to Play Octopus. Play Octopus is one of the best features you can have as a rideshare driver. They send you a tablet for free, pay for all the data. It straps to the back of your headrest. There's games on it, weather, all types of things that engages the customer. And the best part about it is you get paid if they're playing those games. So I'm sure you guys have all had an awkward ride where you ask how someone's day is and they just give you a little grunt rather than even responding. Now you can just say, hey, Mr. Introvert, I won't bore you with some conversation. There are some sick games on that tablet. Feel free to explore on it. We'll have a great ride and I'll get you to your destination. So definitely check it out, guys. The main thing is it's free. Why you wouldn't want a free tablet that attaches to your headrest, I don't know. It's a no-brainer in my opinion. There's a link in the description so you guys can check it out. Alrighty. So for me as a driver, I was bothered by a lot of the rate cuts that have happened. I've been active for, I think, 6 years now. Yeah, maybe coming up on 7 actually. I started when I was 21 in Nashville, Tennessee. It was incredible back then. They had the, what did they call it? The power drive bonus, I think, which I would sometimes make like an extra $400 a week on that. It was amazing. I mean, I made like just the stupidest money driving my car with the AC on. Sadly, it's not like that anymore. But the one thing I have said is that every driver should have the mindset, especially in today's rideshare economy, that you are going to live and die on tips. You need tips. So let's talk about how you can double your tips. My first piece of advice, and this is kind of a catch-22 because you don't want to cancel too many rides, but you have to avoid those cheaper, junkier rides that probably won't tip. Oh man, I mean, we've all had the frustration of picking up someone's groceries and they're going like a mile down the road. It takes 15 minutes to load them. I mean, probably not that long, 5 to 10 minutes to load them, but that's precious time. Even if it's 5 minutes, the base fare is like $1 at that point. I mean, obviously a little bit more, but you get what I'm saying. So you've got to avoid those rides. You've got to avoid the college town rides. It's the same thing I tell people all the time with Uber Eats, DoorDash, Postmates, any of that. Whenever I've done delivery, I always avoid the fast food deliveries because odds are it's a college student. Odds are they're not going to tip me. If all they can afford is one chalupa for like $2, do you really think they're going to tip you $5? They're not. Now maybe there's that awesome college student who's got mommy and daddy's credit card and they throw you a fat tip, but how often does that happen? 1 out of 50 times? So you gotta avoid the cheap, junky rides and you gotta kind of know the areas where your clientele is gonna be better. Simple solution, do some market research if you're new to your city. Plenty of drivers have done YouTube videos on your area and will tell you where you need to be. But now let's talk about the ride. So obviously being a conversationalist is, probably the best way. Just being an awesome person. People like that. You want them to be going back home and telling their wife about the awesome Uber driver they had, the great conversation they had, but that's not as easy for everyone to do. Now I do want to point out that one thing that brought my tips up was Play Octopus, and this is something that they've proven. If you go to their website and look around, they've proven that their drivers get better tips simply because they're providing a better experience. They're providing entertainment. There's a lot of drivers that really soup up their car, and there's just guys that know a lot about cars and they can rig up like video games and all kinds of cool stuff in their vehicle so that they're providing a pretty sweet level of entertainment. So Play Octopus kind of lets you do that as well, but there's a lot of ways outside of that you can do as well. Now there's the obvious answers like have some chips, have some amenities. I shouldn't need to go more into that because you guys should know that by now. But taking advantage of any of those amenities that you can, offering some snacks. My go-tos were always having a bottle of cologne, having some breath mints, having some aspirin, bottles of water. I went beyond just snacks. I even like to think of different things that someone might need based on the times I was driving. Night shift, I'm always thinking, what does a drunk person want besides Taco Bell? They might be feeling very sick. So having something that they can take to, maybe it's just even some Tums, cool their stomach down. that's a great solution. So just be in the mindset of thinking how you can provide a better experience. It's not always just about talking, and I think this is where a lot of drivers go wrong. I always attempt to have a good conversation, but I'm never going to force it. But another simple thing, guys, is just drive safe. Some of you might have the mindset of the faster you do rides, the more money you're going to make. Well, that's true to some degree. It's kind of like what they would tell you if you ever went to traffic school. If you got a ticket and you went to school to get it off your record, one of the first things that you'll see in that corny freaking video you watch is some cop talking about how much time you actually saved by going 15 miles per hour over the speed limit. It was only 3 minutes. The Uber driver's like, yeah, but if I save 3 minutes on 15 rides a day, it actually is a decent amount of time. You probably got 3 more rides in. But at the end of the day, the trade-off isn't going to be worth it. I'm not even going to talk about, the fact that you might get a speeding ticket, because obviously if you're doing that, you've already assumed that risk, But the fact of the matter is, you're less likely to get a tip if you're driving unsafe. I've had some times where I really just did not realize I was speeding. Not only did I not get tipped, I got a bad rating for it. So you want to avoid stuff like that as well. But I think in any situation, you just need to have the mindset of going the extra mile to provide a better, safer experience if you can. This really isn't that hard because there's a lot of horrid Uber and Lyft drivers out there. Talk on their phones the whole time. Play some very crude music. I've heard stories from passengers of drivers that were going 90, like a 45 in the rain at like 2 a.m. and it's dark. Don't do that. Just don't do that. You give an airport ride, always help with the luggage. I will only offer to do stops if it's a longer ride. And I don't want to stereotype people, but if I pick someone up in a nice suit, I'm gonna ask them if they need to make any stops. Hey, do you need to swing by a grocery store for anything? I don't mind. It's no harm to me. And a lot of times I've done that, I've gotten $20 tips. So we're always thrown in a tough place as a driver where it's like we're supposed to treat everyone the same. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna treat the college student the same as the businessman. I'm just not. I'm not gonna treat the ride that's going a mile down the road the same way as the 15-mile ride at the airport. Because I know who's gonna go the extra mile for me if I go the extra mile for them. At the end of the day, we're kind of running a business here. We kind of have to be picky. And it sucks. I've had times where, I picked up an elderly woman and at Walmart, she's got a trunk full of groceries and she wants to make 2 stops and I'm telling her no. It sucks. I hate that I have to do that. But I'm an independent contractor. And Uber and Lyft cut my rates like crazy. So I've got to protect myself there, right? So I think at the end of the day, guys, have the mindset of just going the extra mile at all times and you will see more tips. It's not just about being a great conversationalist. That definitely helps, but you also can't force it. You need to be genuine. You need to be authentic. And my one rule of thumb with talking is ask more questions. Don't talk about yourself unless they ask. Ask more questions about them. If they deliver some type of pain point, try to elaborate on it a little bit. It's almost like sales training. How was your day today, man? Oh, honestly, pretty crappy. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. I do hope it gets better. And if there's anything I can do to make it better, please let me know. Do you mind me asking what happened? As long as you do it authentically, they're not going to care. I've posed that question thousands of times. Usually people want to talk. Usually people want someone to just ask about them. So they're not in your car to hear about how cool your life is. Most often, I think people just want someone who will listen. So anyways, I'm going to end it there. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Make sure you check out Play Octopus, linked in the description below. Get that free tablet. It is a very, very, very awesome feature, and it is going to help you get more tips as well. I hope you guys crush it out there this week, and stay tuned for more updates.